Welcome to CBS This Morning. It is a confession that many in the sports world never expected to hear. CBS News has confirmed that on Monday, Lance Armstrong admitted doping while he was winning the Tour de France 7 times.
Changing his story could have severe consequences for Armstrong. Chip Reed is at the Justice Department in Washington. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning, Charlie and Nora, and good morning to our viewers out west. Lance Armstrong is already being sued by a former teammate for allegedly defrauding the federal government of millions of dollars when he rode for the U.S. Postal Service team. Now, CBS News has learned that senior officials here at the Justice Department have recommended that the federal government join that lawsuit. Lance Armstrong's years of denial came to an end Monday in an emotional interview with Oprah Winfrey. CBS News has learned the former cycling star confessed to Winfrey what many had already speculated, that he used performance-enhancing drugs. The lengthy sit-down took place at the Four Seasons Hotel in Austin, Texas, where Armstrong was joined by close friends and his lawyers. Afterwards, Winfrey tweeted, "Just wrapped with Lance Armstrong. More than 2.5 hours. He came ready." It's a stunning reversal for a man who spent the better part of his career fighting back against doping allegations.
We got nothing to hide. We know that. Everybody knows that.
The pressure mounted in May 2011 when 60 Minutes' Scott Pelley talked to Armstrong's former teammate Tyler Hamilton about the blood-boosting drug EPO.
You saw Lance Armstrong inject EPO.
Yeah, like we all did. Like I did many, many times.
And then last year, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency issued a scathing report accusing Armstrong of masterminding a sophisticated conspiracy, roping teammates into his drug use and threatening anyone who stood in his way. Just last week, Pelley spoke to the head of the Anti-Doping Agency, Travis Tygart, on 60 Minutes Sports.
It was tough. All these witnesses were scared of the repercussions of them simply telling the truth.
What could Lance Armstrong do to them?
Incinerate them.
Following the report, Armstrong was stripped of his 7 Tour de France titles, banned from competing, and cut off by most of his sponsors. Ahead of Monday's interview, he reportedly apologized to staff members at the Livestrong cancer charity he founded. But many longtime fans feel betrayed.
We watched him win 7 times, and we all just stood in amazement. And now to find out that it was based on lies, you know, it hurts all of us.
CBS News has learned that Armstrong is now in talks about returning some of the millions of dollars he earned while riding for the U.S. Postal Service team. And he is also showing a willingness to testify against others. Charlie and Nora.
Chip Reed, thanks. CBS News legal analyst Jack Ford joins us now. Jack, good morning.
Charlie, good morning.
Why did he do this, and what did he put at risk?
Good question. I think you have to believe that there were some significant battles going on inside of his camp. Public relations people probably saying, look, you need to take control of this story, move forward. We're a forgiving nation. If you want to be able to do things and resurrect your image, you have to apologize and get out there. I got to believe that his lawyers were saying, you know, that's a terrible idea because legally you're now going to be exposing yourself to all sorts of civil suits, enormous amounts of money, and even the possibility of the resurrection of a criminal investigation. Remember, the feds were investigating him and dropped it about a year ago. They never said why, but that could also be out there on the horizon. So I got to believe that there was some serious conflict going on in his camp there.
Can we talk about the timing of this? It's my understanding that the Justice Department deadline is Thursday to join this suit, and the full interview with Oprah is airing on Thursday. Do you think that is what's driving Lance Armstrong to really do this interview, but also to negotiate with the Justice Department, saying he may return some money and he's willing to testify?
I think it's a good question. I think all of those things are entering into this thing. You know, the Justice Department, enormous pressure on them, this whistleblower lawsuit that got started by Floyd Landis. If in fact now he is admitting, Lance Armstrong is admitting doing this, then he's exposing himself to all sorts of money. And the Justice Department doesn't want to be left out of that. You know, they'll say, and my guess is they'll sign up for this, and then they'll figure it out afterwards. But all of these time frames, I'm sure, are moving this forward. But the bottom line is you're going to see an awful lot of negotiation taking place between him and his representatives.
Tell us more about the criminal charges.
Yeah, that could be the wild card here. And I've seen his lawyers quoted as saying, well, we don't think that'll get resurrected. Federal government looking into him for essentially fraud. U.S. Postal Service was his sponsor, and they had indicated that, no, we're not using drugs at all. all in any way, shape, or form. Well, they got some $30 million from the Postal Service here, and the government was looking into whether or not there was fraudulent activity there because they were, in fact, using. Now, government dropped the investigation. We don't know why. They never articulated a reason. But again, if I'm his lawyer, I'm real worried that if he comes out now and admits to doing this, that the federal government might take another hard look at this and say, maybe, okay, yes, civil suits, but maybe also there's a criminal prosecution on the horizon here we have to look into.
He's got a very good legal team around him.
Good legal team, and you got to believe that they've thought this all through, and they're going to try and figure out how best to get him out from underneath here.
Thanks, Jack.
Jack Ford, thank you.